What's up guys, Blade Master here, bringing you another Total War Rome 2 online battle. This is a Total War Rome 2 2v2 battle that I fought with Heracles from the Greek clan, and we're fighting up against Blackjack and Mr. Chaplain from various clans as well. We are fighting in the map of Alexandria. This is a very intense, very close match, and it's a very fun match as well. With my usual 2v2 strategies, I try and change things up. I've taken Syracuse in this matchup. Heracles has taken Rome. I've decided to put the entirety of my army behind Heracles' main line of Roman infantry, because I knew that we were going to be faced up against Suebi and Aravaci, and both of those are very sword-heavy factions that Syracuse could not match up against in a one-on-one fight. But Syracuse do have very good skirmish options in their Balearic slingers, and they do have very interesting cavalry in their mercenary Italian cavalry. I've brought 3 of these mercenary Italians with their 15 bonus versus cavalry. They should do very well against the rather mediocre cavalry options that the Aravaci and Suebi can afford to bring. I've also brought 1 citizen cavalry and 1 Thoria spear behind them. This forms the entirety of my left flank. They're all hidden, and my main intention is to catch any unaware cavalry if they decide to pull out over here, and then they'll get caught by my cavalry, just like these Germanic scout riders. And meanwhile, my 3 Balearic slingers will provide an excellent skirmish option, along with his 3 Balearic slingers and 3 auxiliary Syrian archers, I would expect. The Germanic scout riders being way too aggressive here is Blackjack, I believe. Yeah, Blackjack took Suebi. Being way too aggressive with them here. They're going to take some casualties, at least some HP damage. They are very lightly armored. And here what I'm going to do is just try and charge in with my mercenary Italian cavalry. These cavalry units do have low armor, but they do have lower mass as well. I think they're only medium. Yeah, they're medium, whereas citizen cavalry probably heavy. No, they're the same mass, which means that they're not quicker, but they do have 15 bonus versus citizen cavalry which only have 10. And this Thoria spear is very useful here because there's some Cantabrian cavalry here that these guys can just ward off. Meanwhile, the Suebi forces, the spear levy, of course, any Suebi army is incomplete without the spear levy, the levy freemen of the Suebi world. Very cost-effective units, just moving up in front, absorbing some archer fire. Meanwhile, the Germanic scout rider is still taking a lot of damage from my Balearic slingers and from Heracles' Balearic slingers as well. As for the rest of my army, I've brought 1 extra Thoria spear who's on my right flank, or on our right flank, right here. I brought a mix of cheap hoplites, some Thoria hoplites, some militia hoplites, 3 mercenary Samnite warriors, 1 thorax swordsman, a couple of thorax hoplites, and a picked hoplite general. It looks like club levy charging in with fast charge. So it looks like Heracles is just chosen fit to withstand the brunt of this attack. Not really sure how wise a move that is, because the Principe's his Principe mainline, which is definitely an odd choice. Principe mainline, very strong unit though, is going to take unnecessary casualties from these very cheap units. 21 kills on Principes is insane. So now I've moved all of my units, all of my cavalry units out into the fore, and now they're going to, one of them is going to rear charge these club levy. Not like the Hastati really needed much help. And then I'm going to pull these citizen cav back into my line, because the Germanic scout riders can make very short work of them with their javelins. But with the forest protection and with my slingers covering, they should be okay. Cantabrian cavalry, very dangerous javelin cavalry units. You can take a look at that. They just destroyed like 7 or 8 cavalry, 7 or 8 mercenary Italian cavalry. I think they're very useful in 2v2 situations when there's just so much going on that maybe one of the opponents just doesn't realize what's going on, and it just takes a couple of volleys from Cantabrian cavalry with their 41 missile damage to completely obliterate a cavalry unit, and an expensive cavalry unit at that. Thoria spears here, we're chasing after the Germanic scout riders, get caught by Scutari, and the Thoria spears are bye-bye. But now some Germanic sword masters are going to come in to charge into the main line. They don't have fast charge on though. So again, it was a very curious move to see Blackjack popping fast charge so early and then using these sword masters who will destroy the Principes. But the fact that they don't have fast charge on means that they're just not going to be as effective. Here, Berserkers are going to pounce onto these already damaged Principes. Only have 71 units left. Meanwhile, my Balearic Slingers and the huge number of auxiliary Syrian archers and Balearic Slingers that Heracles has are going to do constant fire on the Germanic main line. Here, Swordmasters, I just destroyed a spear levy with my mercenary Samnite warriors. I decided to pull these guys out to the right flank so that I can have some more width. My slingers are starting to fire into the general. As you can see, well, no, they're firing into the Berserkers. They're already down to half strength and they're taking so many casualties in the process. Here, the Wolf Warrior is doing a bit of damage, and Swordmasters just destroying the Principes. This is a hole that is going to be very dangerous, because now the Syrians and the Balearics are going to have to pull out, and that means fewer arrows and slingshots are going to be fired. Here, Thorax Hoplites of mine are going to deal with these Iberian Spearmen, but it's going to take a while for that matchup to finish, because the Thorax, I mean, it's two defensive units facing off against each other, so it's not going to get resolved very quickly. Swordmaster's general here, he's going to resolve this battle very quickly against Astadi, going to destroy them. Here, this one Swordmaster is going to face up against one Thorax Swords, one Mercenary Samnites, and Militia Hoplites. What I'm going to do is try and charge in with my Militia Hoplites, pull out with my Thorax Swordsman, and then do the same thing with my Mercenary Samnites and do a Hammer and Anvil. But it looks like something weird is going on, and the Swordmasters just pass straight through my Militia Hoplites and catch some of my Thorax Swords. But then I do the same thing with my Mercenary Samnites. All in all, I would be able to win that battle. Here, Berserkers going to destroy a lot of my Mercenary Balearic Slingers. I'm not paying much attention to them, because there are a lot of cavalry units right here that my Mercenary Italian Cavalry were not good enough to deal with. My the Celtiberian Cavalry from Mr. Chaplain getting a nice sneak attack onto my Citizen Cavalry. My Thuria Spears, not Thuria's Hoplites here, just chasing after them. They don't have any javelins, unlike the Thuria Spears, so they're pretty much useless if they're going to be standing like this and not chasing after the cavalry and trying to engage them in melee. Swordmasters here with Headhunt on, no, with Shield Wall on, which is also a smart move. Samnite Warriors getting 73 kills on them, totally 73 kills. I bet they've only gotten like 20-30 kills on them. Here though, Berserker is going to get a lot of kills, 101 kills. Thorax Hoplite is going to deal with them though, but it's just a massive skirmish line here that the players need to deal with. As long as we can destroy the cavalry, and granted the cavalry is a huge threat at this point, we should be able to win the game. That is Greek, Heracles and I. Heracles and I form a very good partnership. I've seen, like, in all the 2v2 games that we've played, we've always kind of synced. We've always kind of gelled together. Always seem to understand what each other's moves are. It makes for a very, very cool partnership between two pretty decent players, I would say. So here, Celtiberian Cavalry getting caught by my picked Hoplites, and the Noble Cavalry, a very good cavalry unit, very good Barbarian Cavalry unit. In the woods, won't do too much damage, but still a definite threat for so many skirmishes right here. The Swordmaster is going to engage Hastadi. Hastadi will actually do okay, but they will get destroyed sooner rather than later. Here, Club Levy going to die to my Thorax Swordsman. Meanwhile, my Mercenary Samnite Warrior is going to hold out for a long time. Heracles is pulling out his men. The Swordmaster is down to 51 units, taking continuous fire from slingers and archers for so long. Is going to do a lot of damage to any unit. Here, my slingers, I believe my slingers, I've just turned them around, and they're going to start trying to fire at the other noble cavalry, because the Swordmasters here, Heracles has done a great job in just destroying them. And so I'm going to try and destroy the other general as quickly as possible. Once the two generals are out, then this game is just as good as done. Here though, this Germanic Scout Riders can get a lot of kills on the charge against so many skirmish units, but good god, good god, they just got smashed before they even had a chance to make it into those Syrian archers. Here though, my Thorax Hoplites, they did last for such a long time against such strong units. Two noble fighters here at full strength. This is going to be deadly for us. But this Thorax Hoplite did so well and was an MVP in this game, I'd say, because 85 kills, but more importantly than that, with Hoplite Phalanx on, they just lasted for so long. Some Iberian Slingers here from Mr. Chaplain. firing into my very heavily armored mercenary Samnite warriors. The Skutari are losing slightly, it looks like. Here, mercenary Samnite warriors again fighting against Skutari. Skutari look like they should be losing in that battle. If I recall correctly, the Samnites usually win out against Skutari. Here, militia hoplites attacking some Celtiberian cavalry, a little bit of Miss Micro going on there. And the Samnite warriors finished off the noble swords at that flank, and they're going to come in. I moved one of my Balearic slingers around so that they can get some better shots. There's a huge number of skirmishers right here, and that's going to be a pain in the ass for the Swabians or the Celtiberians to try and deal with. Or sorry, the Iberians, the Aravachians. The last Germanic scout rider got 60 kills, starting to waver one of these Balearic slingers. But the Saki Equites Extraordinary coming in here, and of course I have my picked Hoplites General, who is going to come in and charge into these Celtiberian cavalry, who's going after the General Bodyguard. That's not good for Heracles. The Celtiberian cavalry have a 15 bonus versus large, very deadly units against enemy cavalry. But my picked Hoplites with their 15 bonus versus large and excellent spear is just going to destroy these Germanic scout riders and then immediately try and chase after these Celtiberians. Saki Equites Extraordinary, I basically tried to tell Heracles as quickly as possible to just chase after this noble cavalry. Engage it. It doesn't matter if the Saki Equites Extraordinary lose, because I have these Thoria spears coming in to support. And now that my Thoria spears have engaged them, the noble cavalry, even if they do pull out, they have a cavalry unit and a spear unit chasing after them, so the noble cavalry is basically dead. It wasn't wise to leave the cavalry general so far behind, especially when there were some pretty big gaps that he could have exploited and just destroyed our skirmish line. Once the skirmish line was dead, there's nothing that we can do, because there's no more Roman infantry left. The only thing we're relying on is the staying power of my Thorax Hoplites, and now my general here is going to play a pretty important role, going to charge in to these two noble fighters whose general has recently died, so their morale is down. And Thorax Hoplites popping Hoplite wall after getting a proper charge in. Look at that, 58 kills. They're getting slaughtered though. They're getting slaughtered by two noble fighters with headhunt on. Good God, it's going to be good night, sweet prince for the picked Hoplites. But it's going to take a long time before they get put to sleep, because we are talking about the second most expensive Hoplite unit in the game. And you know, their health and armor and melee defense with Hoplite Phalanx on is just incredible. And that's going to give more than enough time for the huge amount of slingers that both me and Heracles have. And you know, the fact that we have Balearic slingers is going to play a huge part. And it's going to give more than enough time for the slingers to just slaughter these noble fighters. They have very poor armor. My picked Hoplites have excellent armor. So that huge armor differential is going to play in. I'm going to take much fewer casualties from friendly fire than his noble fighters would. They're losing decisively at this point, I believe. Yep. And they're going to start wavering. I have some isolated troops here, Thorax Swordsmen and some mercenary Samnite warriors who've done very well. They're just going to be doing the exact same thing. Just hold up little pockets of Iberian troops and then let the slingers and the archers do the talking mainly. Popped a rally before my general dies. They only have 60 units left. Gotten a double experience chevron, getting a ton of kills. I really like picked Hoplites, but they're very expensive, so there's no point bringing more than a couple of them at most. The Iberian swordsmen really going to get slaughtered very quickly with their tiny shields. They have only a 20% missile block chance. The noble fighters will fare a bit better. You can see that they have those big ass shields, big ass rectangular shields, but still their low armor means that they're going to get slaughtered nonetheless. I have some more Balearic slingers here. In general, I think Heracles did a much better job with his slingers. Look at that, 75, 79, 102. But I did a pretty crucial role in chasing off some of the cavalry with my spears and then killing them off. Here, some more Syrian archers, 133, 104, 105 kills. He did so well with his sling, with his skirmish line. Samnite warriors holding up 232 kills, double experience chevron, destroying the Skutari. And of course, who can forget about the picked Hoplites, 150 kills, double experience chevron. I'm moving up two of my mercenary Balearic slingers to get some more good angles. And at this point, it really is a blessing that we have so many slingers, because without their increased amounts of ammunition, the balance of power would have shifted in our opponent's favor, and then we would have lost the game. Let's take a look at the gorgeous graphics of Rome 2 to end this really spectacular, epic 2v2 battle between some really good players and one not so good player, that is myself. And that's the end of the Celtiberians. Let's they get some slingshots as parting gifts. Boom.
As you command. Quick march.
And one last Scutari left with 136 kills. Going to probably win out against Mercenary Samnite Warriors. But again, I have a Ballistic Slinger here that's just about ready to fire with rapid reload. But I think at this point, it's just safe to call this game GG. Costly victory. And a very fun game. Again, it looks like the risk that I took by just making a huge blob of the entire army for both me and Iraklis paid off. Because, again, if it was a one-on-one battle against this Aravachi army, 2 noble fighters would have slaughtered my Thorax Hoplites. My Thorax Swordsmen and my Mercenary Samnite Warriors wouldn't have done a thing. You guys saw that the Samnite Warriors in one-on-one battles against Scutari didn't really fare well. So by putting my main army along with Iraklis' Roman line, it meant that his excellent infantry could bear the brunt of the Swabi charge, and they could also deal with the remnants of these Scutari, and then my Hoplites could deal with the more damaged, and my Samnite Warriors could deal with the much more damaged Scutari and the few remaining noble fighters, while the Slingers did the talking and the Archers did the talking, and my Thoria Spears and my Thorias Hoplites just chased after the cavalry. Anyways guys, that's the end of this battle. Hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for more. Peace.